Welcome back to another video on Dyson Sphere Program. I'm Omniderf, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. So, alright, quick update. Well, as you can see, the iron veins they're running out. They're almost gone. Alright. All of my original plans for this video are kind of squashed a little bit. Oh wow, I didn't realize that. Yeah, the copper vein is, oh dang, it is almost completely gone. Okay. That one's just about there. I didn't know that. Alright. But let me give you a little tour quickly. We'll hop over here. Right? This thing is stacked. Red, blue, yellow is on its way. It's very, very, very slow because of those crystals. I haven't done anything to change that. I've just been doing a bunch of other things, and they've just been having at it. So today what I was going to hope to do, which was a hope, was I wanted to make... what are these things called? The orbital collector. And I wanted to try that out, and I wanted to go ahead and use one, right? However... right here, I set it up. I put in some of the fully charged, which, by the way, fully charged, all you need to do, I'm sure you've seen it when I just went by it. Oops. Oop, 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 oop. Right here. Woo, go down. We're so screwed up. Right, I placed a bunch of them down, then you pick them up. That's it. Once they're fully charged, you can pick these guys up. Right? And then I don't know if there's like an automated way to do this or not. There may very well be. I'm not too sure. But I stopped looking into it once I realized where my problem was. But anyway, you get it. You grab them fully charged. I throw them in there. They're going to go right into here. That's how I get the fully charged ones in there. Everything else is fed in there. Doing great. However, I need some reinforced thrusters. Right? That's where my problem is. And if we come over here to the reinforced thruster, it is missing the electromagnet turbine. Yeah, so then I started to figure out, why am I missing those? So I ran over to my little facility, my factory, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I think we went the long way again. Alright, and everything is missing. Because it's all filling up for these guys. Alright, so when that thing gets requested, everything in the line gets dumped to fulfill that. So I have none of these, right? Which then in turn means I have none of those, and then none of these over here. And I have no magnet. It's just goes right down the line. These guys still need to be made, but they also take them. So this thing's got a long way to go to fill this. All right? And that's when I realized I got to come up with a better method, because this isn't working. This idea for the factory that I have set up right now is just not quite cutting it. Not at all. So, up over here, the other problem I'm having, which, by the way, I really do love the ring of belts. I mean, it's screwed up right there. But I see a vision, and I see something I'm definitely going to be doing later. Also, I realized we never actually even plopped one of those things down. Let's do that in 1 second. But I set this up now, so this is like this. Alright. I did that because I do want to start playing with that swarm, the Dyson swarm. And in order to do so, where is it? I want to set this guy up so that I know it's going in to, say, this guy. Why won't you do it? Okay, I really wasn't expecting that to be a thing. I thought it would just connect. Alright, well, so much for that idea. Really? Are you going to be a struggle, like, no matter what I do? Is that just not going to be a thing? It's not going to happen? I can't come in on the angle because of the way that the Earth is, or the planet's sitting, rather? Huh, okay. Well, my plans for this then is kind of squashed. Because I kind of just thought I could use up all of the lines. That's interesting. Anyway, I wanted to set this thing up so that it could pull out these guys here and go directly into here. So then I can request them on a different planet, because that's what we're going to do. And then I believe these are the ones we need to shoot them. Large amount of solar sails into the orbit. Yeah, alright, so let's set that up too. Just so we can get them somewhere else, that's all. Now, should I do so many? Probably not. Come to think of it, I should probably lower the amount right now. Let's say 400. Over here, these guys, I probably don't want nearly as many either, because I don't know how many we're really going to need to use. And I'd rather not put too many in these and then have to take them down later or remove the item, and I don't know if you lose them or not, but having them set up in there is step one, we'll say. Alright. I'm going to grab just another little stack of those just to make sure I have them. Alright, what we're going to do now, we're going to fly out to planet number 2. Wherever that might be. Where are you? There's 1. There's 2. Probably the furthest one away, isn't it? Anyway, we'll be back once we get there. I've already done some work. You know what? I just landed and I think I've realized what this thing does now. So, I'm pretty certain I know what that is.
You have built a powerful energy exchange and can use it to quickly fill the accumulator with the surplus electricity in the grid. You can also release the electric energy stored in the full accumulator with the same speed. With a stable logistics guarantee, it can continuously supply the grid with power.
Come on. Now I just seen it, just noticed it. Oh man, so what I just said earlier was a waste. That's how you automate it. Now I know. I should have looked into that a little bit deeper. So that's it. You grab one of these guys and you set it up so that it takes the empties and it will charge them, and then I can automate the construction of anything that needs fully charged ones. Alright, well now I know. I should have done that on the other planet where I needed it, but hey, it is what it is. So, if you check it out, this is what I've done here in this planet. Alright, this is my new way of organizing and completely stripping the planet. I went around and I set up the same thing on every single node on this planet, along with wrapping it with the solar panels so that I have power. Right? It's the same setup on every single one of them. I've ringed it around with at least 5, sometimes more, but 5 is the minimum. And I tried to set it up so there was 2 going into one side and 2 going into the other side, and the ones that I set up more than 5 had 2 going into this side. Then I stacked them up as high as I could go, so there was a backlog and 3 lanes going out into a system, or a interstellar logic station that has nothing in it, just plain put it there. It's got the 10,000 backlog, and it's set up for local supply and remote supply, just in case I'm going to use that later. I don't know. I didn't adjust any settings whatsoever. But what I wanted to do, for starters, so that it can begin to work, is I want to head up over here to the North Pole of the planet, which I think we're here, right? I think this is the North Pole, right? Make sure. Yep, red, North Pole. Alright. I want to set up one of these guys right in the middle, dead center. Okay, and I want it to request the ray and these guys. I'm going to lower that down to say 500, and I'm going to lower this thing down to say 100, right? And I want to demand it. I could throw these guys in. And then we need to set up some type of power. Where's my closest connection? I don't think it's really going to matter. Come on. There we go. And now that should get it some juice. it should go out. It should receive. They should start leaving, I hope. Yep, good. Gonna go get 400. Okay. Well, apparently 100 was too much. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why are we getting more, man? I said 500 max. Why are you getting 800? Anyway. Sure. Well, that thing does its thing, and then when it comes back, I wanted to set this thing up, which I don't really know how they work. But I wanted to set it up here because we are second to the star. This planet, I haven't begun, you know? Like, I'm changing my method of how I've done things on that planet here on number 2. Number 1, it's kind of a little free-for-all. The land's not so great, too, with all the lava and whatnot. This one is so... This is where you're going to come to get some soil pile, alright? If you don't want to use your... What is it called? You don't want to use your foundations? All you really have to do is build. Alright, you build around here, and you're going to get all the soil out of this area. Because it's going to bring everything down to the flat level. You know, and you can just get up all the soil you need. And you don't use your foundations that way. Or you could just use your foundations, flatten it, and that's how I've gotten all my soil so far. But point is, there ain't too many holes in this one that I have to fill in. So I want to use this planet as my new mining operation. There's this side of the planet here. It's so open, it's huge. That's where we're going to start the production of bars and whatnot. But before we begin that, I wanted to take these and set this up so that something's happening. The power usage is starting to become a thing. Right? I'm not going to set up this mass amount. I just want to set up a couple of them. Just to see what it is. I would imagine they're coming back, right? Something tells me it's those two. 3? And I don't know. Anyway, we'll be back when they come back. Alright, they just had arrived. So, we're just going to pull those guys out. Okay, I didn't realize we were going to pull them all out. Oh well. It happened. Game. So here we go. Now I don't really have anything planned, but I was just figuring we'd ring this thing. I don't know how this works at all.
An EM rail ejector. You have taken the first step to build the Dyson Sphere. Now you can use it to send solar sails into space for forming the Dyson Swarm.
Yeah.
Each EM rail ejector requires to set up orbit and supply with solar sails. Also, you can use copy and paste to set orbits.
Okay.
If you want a Dyson Swarm orbit become more diversified, you can click the Dyson Sphere button in the lower left corner of the screen to open the Dyson Sphere panel. Make your customization however you want.
Oh. Alright, alright. So, this is going to be a little bit of a learning curve here, I'm sure. Right? So we have to... Oh, so we have the Dyson Swarm. So, solar sails in total. Right, generation from it. We can add an orbit. Oh. Okay. Hold on. Did I add it? How do I add an orbit? Oh, I have to create. I see. Alright, alright. So hold on then. Alright. What's this one do? Oh, okay. Was that too close to the planet orbit? Okay. So wait. So if I went in really close, would that mean that you get more power that way versus going far out? You know? I don't know. I think we're going to sit with some solid numbers. And for right now, we're going to stay nice and plain. And I like that. 10,000, 180 degrees, 0 for the longitude. Alright. And that's going to be our initial circle. So then this guy, he's going to shoot to orbit, or yeah, orbit number 2. Alright, and we're going to go ahead. So I'm guessing it's one of these guys. Yep. Alright, and we can come over here. Set it up for sales. And that should be it, right? Oh, it is. There it goes. It's just shooting. Oh. Okay. You can actually see them. Alright, alright. That's interesting. Alright, so that one is going. We got in 22 kilowatts. So it's just... Alright. Huh. I see. I see what's going on here. So, I could do this again then. I really wasn't going to set up a whole lot, but I'm curious now. Right? I'm on this one. We'll put it right there. We'll set up another one right there. And another one over here. Okay. So we'll set up a line coming directly out of both of them. Right, we gotta go make a new... Well, we can let those things build up while we come in here, right? Does it still work? Probably not. So let's make it third orbit. Right, we want it at 10,000. Okay, our last one is right here. So what do we think? Should we do 45s or 90s? Let's see. So if that's the 90, how about we go at a 45? Oop, what happened? Oh, because I'm going the wrong way. That'd be why. Go to 135. All right. We'll leave it like that. And then if we create, that's orbit 3. All right. So then we'll come over here. You're going to fly to orbit 3. And then we got to give you some solar fix. We might need more of these guys here, huh? So now that thing's going to start firing off. Right? Maybe? Oh, you got to... Pitch limit. I think that one's stuck too. So it's only going to have moments of when it can shoot, huh? Ooh. Okay, alright, alright. Well, fine then. We're going to set up another orbit. Right? We're going to set you to 0. We'll set you to 10,000. And then... What did we do? 135 last time? So it'd be 90. We'll create that one. Okay, there we go. We'll set up you right here. Come over here. Get them pumping in. Go over. This one, orbit 4. And then we do one more. And again, I'm just winging everything. I'm learning as we go. Okay, we have to make an orbit still for this guy. Go over here. Let's switch you in. Add one more orbit. We go to 0. We go to 10,000. We have 90, so this one will be a 45. So there we go. And then we end up with that nice little shape right there. Alright. So this one will be sending them to orbit 5. Which apparently there's a pitch. So I'm waiting for the planet to rotate before it starts sending any more. I'm guessing that's the deal here. It's not going to send any more up there until it rotates. Now, so if we have 557 kilowatts, right, and each one, these guys, they only last for 2,400 seconds. I'm not even too sure how long that is. Let me bring up a calculator real fast here. Right, so what do we have? 2,400 seconds. So divide that by 60. So that's 40 minutes. So I guess they last for 40 minutes per one. And then they'll die out. So they have to constantly be sending. So I'm going to let this thing run and just see what happens. You know, we're going to come back. We'll check on it. Oh, it's kind of cool. Look, look. We can actually see them in the orbit. We could see the couple that did get sent off before we ran into our issue of not sending anything. Alright. Well, I guess that's... Oh, there we go. It's starting again. So that one's now sending them to orbit 2. Alright. So what about the rest of them? Are we ever going to rotate into the right way? Oh, there we go. So it's going. It's firing right in. We're gaining. It's going up. And then there's an item we need that will allow us to use the power, the ray receiver. Unfortunately, I don't have one on me, but I did craft them up too. It's a high energy transferred from the Dyson Sphere. The energy can be directly outputted into a power grid and stored. So I have to go back to the other planet to actually utilize the power we're making. For the moment, I'm not going to worry about it. While it's starting, you know, it's going to do its own thing right now. I hope that we hit a point where these things all fire, because if not, this was a little bit pointless. You firing? Nope. So we still have a pitch issue. Right? Because if this thing's always going to sit like that, that means like having it on the equator might have been a better choice here. If the pitch is always the problem, the equator would have been a better way to go about this, so that it could always be sending, at least once it rotates. I'm a little worried about that. Or at least, I think what's going to truly end up happening is now this one's eventually going to hit a pitch it can't shoot, and this one will start going. Target pitch align. Is that getting better or worse? Target pitch is there. Huh. So it's starting to get better. Man, I'm unsure of how this whole thing works. Learning and all. I have a feeling setting it up on top like I wanted on this particular planet was probably a bad plan. This one's still rolling. But no one else even started yet. You know? That one is going to town. Oh, there it is. It's over. Nothing else even started. Alright, I gotta say, I think that's a bad placement. Yeah. Alright, I'm just gonna let it run, though. I think that's bad placement. I think we're gonna have to move it. I think it's gonna work best if we were to put this thing, like, say, on the equator somewhere. Right? If it was on the equator, I think it'll always eventually rotate so that they're all firing inward. Where right now, it's too much of an angle for those ones to shoot. I'm only getting one to shoot. I think that's my problem. For the moment, I'm just going to leave it alone and let it sit there. Because I'm not even utilizing the power, but I'm probably going to move it off camera and set that up. At least I know what it is and what it's doing. Alright. So the big thing I need to get working on, and I am so about to wing this. Alright. Is setting something up that is very much so universal. Like I've had lots of thoughts on this. Alright. I haven't actually made anything yet, so I'm kind of winging it. But if we look, right, we have the 3, 6, and the 9, 12. So I could utilize this dividing it in half by 6 and 6. So I'm thinking I have like something. I have the ores coming out this way, right? And then I'm going to need some ores going back in. So it's pre-populated. Alright, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to need to pull the ores out in another pattern so that they're coming out somewhere else. And then I'm going to need to pull the ores to go back in. Right, and then I'll do it again. Say over here. Except this one would be a little bit different. You know, you're going to have to pull it out. This is just really rough. I'm going to kind of plan this out a little bit in a moment. Right? So then there. So then I'm utilizing 2, 4, and 6. Right? So we'll have 3 lines coming out and 3 lines going in. And then I can set something up on the opposite end of this to work as well. Now, the whole point of what I'm doing at this moment is going to be to just do your basics right now. Right now, I'm going to be aiming towards smelting ingots, and we're going to evolve from there, but this is going to be the new factory in a way. I'm just trying to come up with a method I like. So I'm going to mess around with this for a moment, and we'll be back when I come up with something. Then I got to learn, like, how far can I go? Can I stretch this one out super far? I mean, where does the limit it? That's what we're going to have to figure out next. That's my testing in just a second. And I'll bring you back for what I figure out. Alright, so this is what I got. Now, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we're going to see. So I'm going with the idea that this thing transports 30 items a second. So for 30 items, it should be able to fill 30 of our smelters, because each smelter will take an item, right? So I have 15 on one side, 15 on the other, and a grand total of 30 that should be coming on this belt, which we'll set up. So we want this guy to bring in ore, right? And we're going to set this thing up to local demand. So there we go. Those guys will leave. They will go grab the ore. And from here, we're going to go ahead and supply it like that. If we come over here, this one will be set up like so, and that one will go in and just give us the bars. Now, if I'm right, it's going to go ahead and deliver the ore, and it should make it down this line, I hope. We're going to see. And if it does, I'm going to build this 2 more times. And that'll be our buildable situation. We'll have the iron ingots being smelted like so. We just gotta wait for that thing to come here. Yep, here they come. Alright, I like that it goes everywhere. It went to any one there was an actual, some ore. So far, so good. Come on, keep going. Keep going. Almost. Almost all the way down. I mean, once they fill up, right, it should make it. Alright, so it does make it all the way to the end. Come on, one more. There we go. It is truly making it to the end. Now, only thing I'm wondering, let's see, so it can hold 5. So that one's maxed out at 5. So it goes all the way down to the very end, and this one is just not quite... Oh, there we go, it hit 5. Alright, and whoop, oh, and it made it. Alright. Alright, it worked. It really did. It worked just as I thought it would. Nice. So there we go, we're pumping them out. It's got enough that it's just running. It's not smelting as much as I'm bringing in. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up 2 more times. And we're going to see what happens there. So I'm going to turn this off for the moment. Alright, because I don't want to bring in any more. I don't want to fill this up too fast, or I'm not going to know if this is working. Alright, so I'm just going to let it run its course. That thing went real quick. Real fast, actually. Woo, okay. I'm very happy with this idea. Let me expand it now. Right, so I can have it. So I have the 2 more of these things going side by side, and we'll go from there and see what happens. Hopefully it's enough and it works. Also, I want to give an update. It's working. We're up to 47.7, and it's still sending. It's working. It's doing it. It's doing the whole thing like I wanted to work. They are shooting. It just took a little while, so I'm happy I didn't just take it apart. Right, that thing is still going to town over there. They're still sending them into orbit. I mean, it's awesome. We just got to go ahead and actually start using the power now. that we're not quite using. And obviously we can expand that, make it much, much bigger. But my main concern today is to figure out a new production line, which I might have just done. I might have just done it. Oh wow, it's coming in and taking them. It's already taking those things to the system on the other planet by the looks of it. -40 means it's being picked up from somewhere. The only place that's going to be calling it is the other planet. The only thing that's going to actually call it is going to be this planet over here, because I have nothing else asking for it. Oh wow, look at that. Man, I wish we could kind of... Oh, we could hit... Okay, there we go. Look at that. That's awesome. That is awesome. Now, all those things only last for 40 minutes, so I'm going to hit a limit is what's going to happen, right? I'm curious to what the limit is with just the 4, right? We have 4 of them going with 4 different orbits, and I want to know what my maximum amount of wattage is for those 4, and we can scale it from there, knowing how much power I want to get in from this particular method. So I'm going to let it keep running until it hits this point where they're now disappearing, but it's adding new ones. And that's going to help me figure out where our rough maximum number, because I'm sure curvature, or rather axis tilting and angle pitching and all that other stuff is going to play a role as to how often they can shoot. Like, because that one, those two are already not. So there is a limit, and it will fluctuate a little bit, but I want to know when this thing stays in one number, because as the solar sails start to deplete, it will be added in, and they should fluctuate to one number eventually. Like, so I'm at 1370 right now, we'll say. I'm going to keep checking back, and we'll see what's up later. But for now, I'm going to keep building, and we'll be back after I build up the next set. Alright, there we go. It's nice and neat. It's orderly. I like it. So, look at it's already gone. It depleted. It sent everything out. Oh man. Alright, here we go. Ready? Set it up for local demand. Those guys are all going to take off. We have 50. It could run all 50. It's going to go to whatever nodes are on this planet themselves. Alright, I use all 50 of them. Good, good, it did. Now that it did that, once they return, I kind of hope that it's capable of utilizing all of it. I like how it shows that, you know, and I think there's more. So we don't have a whole lot of iron on this planet. So that might have been a bad way to start. But it is what it is, because we're going to end up setting up all of our planets like this. And truth is, I could even set this thing up so that this one is also on remote demand. But for the moment, I want to know if this is capable of keeping up with this. Alright, so far so good. Keep going. Keep it going. This is going to be the method of doing all of my smelting from here on out. This is my current idea to roll to get my iron ingots. Come on, those two. Yep. Nice. It's working them all. They're all working. They're all pumping in now. Awesome. All right. I'd say that was a success. Right? Check it out. Right, look at that thing. Oh, it looks so nice too. Look at it go. Awesome. Well, there we go. There we have it. That's my new smelting array. I'm going to be setting more of those up off camera. It's working. It's staying in the white along with bringing them in and keeping everything pumped. So everything is in full blast as it's filling up my iron ingots. Now I can even take this side on the other end of it here, right? And I can convert my iron bars into something else, such as, say, steel. We could do our steel here. We could do the gears here. All right. We have a whole second half of this thing that can be utilized. So I could go ahead and use the iron ingots that are being crafted. Oops, see, oh, we froze. Ah, I didn't want to see that. Well, it's kind of good, but I didn't want that downtime. I actually smelted all of that faster than it could bring in. So now the question is... Alright. So we're going to leave it alone. Because there's a lot more upgrades to these things that might potentially make it more usable. Like, this design worked. And it might work too well right now. I'm blasting out everything that's before it's even coming. Why don't we just throw that to 100%? I gotta try that out now. If those loads are even bigger, would it be able to keep up with that? I mean, granted that the steel ingots are going to hit a maximum and they're going to stop going, but I want to be able to bring in so many that this thing is just pumping non-stop and it's just going to keep going. So we upped the minimum load by 100%, but I feel like it's still bringing in the same amount. Alright, and I'm already drained out my backlog of it. It's already done. It's already filled. This thing, we almost got up to 10,000 already. That is great. I'm loving that. But I don't like how it's already, it ran out now and it's done. Like it just, I want it constantly running. Man, that's not what I wanted to see. I guess I can't complain. I don't know what this is really doing. Right? Because the load is still 2,500. All 50 of the drones is only doing 2,500. And if I've reduced that down to 10, I think it's still only doing 2,500. We're going to hit a max. And once it's full, right, then they're going to save the backlog in themselves. I think they can hold 100. So this thing will end up with 100 in its stack. Like, see how it's already backed up? We already backed up this whole process. That was so quick, I'm backing that up, by the way. That's great. But I'm not bringing in enough ore to produce what I wanted to see. But let's see here. Hold on. Now that they just brought them all in, right? When it sends back out, we changed the minimum load to 10%, so it shouldn't be as much. How come that didn't change? I really thought that the minimum load of the drones would affect it. So if I went 10 to 100, it should have 10 times the amount that I was bringing in, but it doesn't seem to do anything. Leaving it at 10% or changing it to 100 doesn't actually change, well, anything. Well, for the moment, I'm going to leave it alone. And only because I have a feeling that once we get going on our upgrades on these things, they'll be going faster. And it should be able to bring more in. Right? I mean, we can also, obviously, we'll get more mining speed, we'll get more ore. The Logitech drones carrying capability goes up, so that will also help, too. Tech going up by 20. I mean, in the end, maybe this method would work. Maybe once you're maxed out, that's when the load matters. Huh. It's hard to say, but as of right now, I mean, it's working, and it's working better than I thought it was. It actually is working past the capability of it, the way that they can bring them in. So I'm happy with that. Well, I'm going to go ahead and be setting up more of those for all of my ores on this planet. Right? Because now we're starting to drain out of our iron ore. I mean, eventually this might end up being an issue. Oh, nope. See, it's still max, so that's not the issue. It's pumped full constantly as it's being drained out. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. We got to set up copper. We got to set up silicone. We got to set up the stone. And what else we have on this island? Well, planet. And we'd even have coal. We could even do the graphite, too. All right. Well, so today was a good day here. We set this up. So these things are working. It's going. They're pumping in. They have this pitch limit, though, which I'm not a fan of. We're still climbing. Oh, no, we're going away. Here we are. We're here. We're here. We're at that point now where I get to find out our rough number. I'm going to call it 50 probably. Or we were at 1,300. So I think we hit our moment where I get to figure out our numbers now to know when I add in another one, how is it going to help out? You know, now I can officially say we could add in, say, like this, right? If I'm right, I can go like that. And then we can take this and just connect them. I think this will work. Come on. Huh, so it's too close. Alright, so if we go like that. Yep. Alright, cool. So then that one can easily go... What are we at? We're on 4 here, so we'll put this guy to 4. Oh, it's automatically... Because I hit shift. Okay. So now that one's going to do 4 there. Right, and if I do this again... Connect it. We do it again. And then this thing should essentially double the amount that we're getting. So that's kind of in the way. How about if we move that over here? Let's see if that does it. Alright. And then we put this guy down here. And this one goes in here. And then this will come over here. This guy should be already set up to 2. We'll do one more. We'll move this one over here. Okay. And shift you over. Bring this guy over here. Let me put this guy down. And this guy set up on 3. So essentially what I've just done is doubled. So I should see 100 megawatts out of this now, as they are now doubling up the amount of solar sails in each orbit that I've set up. And I can go ahead and do that again and again and again and just kind of double it up. Man, I like this. This is awesome. Alright. I do like how this is rolling. We're probably going to keep rolling around with the ring like that. I don't know how many I'm going to put in. And then we got to set it up so that we can... Oh, wow. Oh, I haven't even looked at that. That's awesome. That is awesome. I gotta say, I love the visual graphics to this game. Right? Check it out. We have a swarm. We have a smelting capabilities, and this video got a little bit longer than intended, but that's that. I'm Omniderf, and I will see you guys.